Good morning, Bob. This is Margaret, and I'm calling because I was the one who emailed you the picture.
Oh, thank you for calling it to my attention. I was unaware of it. I don't get up on Route 12 that often going through Chenango Forks, so thank you for calling this sign to my attention.
Sure, that's fine. That's fine, and thank you for the article. And I have to say, after reading the article and reading what the owner said, I don't know, I almost strangely feel, I think the sign is super offensive. I think it should be taken down. I don't think swearing should be put on signs in public. But after reading your article and reading what he said, I don't think there's anything you can do about him. And I think he's has a lot of issues. And I almost, kind of feel bad for the guy in a weird way. But so that's what I just wanted to say.
Right. Well, of course, I chatted with you for a few minutes yesterday, and then I also chatted with the Broome County Sheriff David Harder, who basically confirmed what you were told. There doesn't seem to be much of anything that the Sheriff's Department or any law enforcement can do about a sign that says liberal, Dem, un-American pieces of bleep. Yeah. The sign is there for all to see, and whether you agree or disagree, I think in the United States of America, that type of message, whether it's a business sign or, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, as far as I can tell, I don't know anything that would preclude people from your neighbor from putting up a sign like that with even more offensive language. And you call the police, you call Vestal Police or Binghamton Police and say, hey, I'm Bob on the west side. My neighbor put up a sign that uses the S-bomb, the F-bomb, and other bombs, and I don't want that. I live half a block from the middle school, and I don't want kids to see it. I don't want to see it on my street. And, the Binghamton Police would probably say, hey, we hear you, and we see it. We don't like it either. Right. Even if, say, the Binghamton Police, there might be Binghamton Police who say, privately would agree with the sign, but publicly, I don't think they want signs like that on the city they love.
Right. And the kids are going to see it. And then you're in a school and you're telling the kids are swearing and they shouldn't be doing that. And you're talking to, well, it's on the sign down the street. And I just don't know where we got to this impasse. I'm kind of a literal person. And I was just thinking about my mother, who was German, and she was a language teacher, but she took she didn't understand some of these American, sayings or idioms, pieces of so-and-so. I would have to explain that. And how is that a person who owns a business is saying that about other people? I don't know. It just, anyway. I don't want to take any more of your time.
Well, just one more point that I think is worth noting, and you told me you're a retired school teacher, and Davy Dutcher, the owner of the business in Chenango Forks, said just in passing when I was talking about the complaints that he has received, and he said he received a few, but not many, and he said most of the people who don't like the sign are liberal school teachers and union people.
Yeah, that was interesting. Union, and you can't tell me that a union carpenter or electrician after a long day of work doesn't go there and sit and go to his bar, okay, and help his business. I don't believe that.
Well, my guess is there are plenty of union people, and I know union people, and they're all over the political spectrum. I know some very conservative and very liberal and also moderate union people, so I wouldn't jump to a conclusion. I know more than a few union people who probably show up at Davy's and are among those who say, hey, Davy, love the sign, thanks.
Right.
And which is their right. I mean, it's America. Anyway, he did say that he plans to leave the message in place for a few days, in his words, until I figure out something more offensive.
Yeah, that was a good one. Well, I drive by the place all the time because I'm living green, and that's what we do. And
have you caught any? Have you heard any feedback from people who saw your picture and saw the story that we reported? Anybody offering their opinion?
They said, good job, and that's all. It sounds like, but then I wonder, what the percentage of. I just can't believe there's a lot of people who say, yeah, amen to that, brother. Put that sign up. I mean, that's just, I don't know. But.
All right. Well, I'm glad you called in. I had extended an invitation as well to Davey Dutcher, to be fair, because after my conversation, he did take down our number. He was non-committal. Who knows? He still may call in. I think, if nothing else, after contacting him and chatting with him, I didn't think the sign would be changed. But I also thought this is an appropriate thing to discuss publicly, because it raises a range of issues, not just the sign, but also how we feel about each other, even as Americans with divergent points of view.
Right. And how did it come to pass that sign, he put that sign up? And we talked about other signs, but this sign goes so much further than those other signs. And that's why I stopped yesterday. That's why we had to turn around, because we couldn't believe what it said. So. And
I thought it was interesting, and you mentioned in our conversation, your first impulse was to go inside the place to complain, but your husband thought that might not be a great idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, well.
We had to. But he knows it. He knows it now, and I hope other people are speaking up and even calling the place. And who knows? He may think that all his customers think like he does, but that is certainly not the truth. I believe that people don't want to see that kind of language out there, and so I have that faith in humanity. And you can have a divergent political viewpoint, but you don't. You can still talk to those people just like you do every day, but you don't have to call them that. And that's what he did. You can't even say the word on the air.
That's true. If I read what's on that sign on the air, and you know what? That's probably what a lot of people want me to do, because if I do that, then they can finally get their wish for a new host of the program. They're probably saying, go for it, Bob. Test the limits. See if the FCC will crack down. See if your employer will walk you out the door instantly. We'd love that. We'd love to see that on as the top story tonight at 6 on Action News.
Yeah.
So, be that as it may, I won't fall into the trap. I won't take the bait, even though the 26% of the listeners want that. Margaret, thank you for calling in from Greene.
Sure. Have a good day. Thank you.